Yerp was blazing Mo's and Moettes. All right, I'm gonna need the general public to bear with me on this video. And I ask that you please stick around and come back for the next one, because this one might go over your head if you're not of a certain demographic, of a certain community. It might go over your head, okay? What I have here is like a calculus level analogy. And we're going to see who's smart enough to keep up with the analogy and who's not. Okay? But like I said, only a select group of people, boy, I'm going blind, y'all. Only a select group of people are going to be able to keep up with the analogy. Okay? You guys got it? Cool. All right, let's go. We're talking about Michael Jordan now. MJ. The GOAT. For all you LeBron fans, Michael Jordan was the greatest basketball player in the history of basketball. And if you're an old school head and you got Kareem, I respect that based on accolades. I respect that. Okay? And even for the young heads who want to hold on to LeBron, I'm going to give y'all respect too. I'm not going to disrespect the young heads. Okay? So, but everyone has to admit that MJ is at least in the argument, right? We're all in agreement. MJ's in the argument at the least for the GOAT, the best player of all time, right? Some of his accomplishments while he played for the Chicago Bulls, which is where, he played and won his championships. And he did all these great things that made him the greatest basketball player of all times. One of my particular favorite stat lines that I think takes him over the top as the GOAT, in my opinion, is he's the only player who led the league in scoring, won Defensive Player of the Year, First Team All-NBA, and Finals MVP, not once, not twice, not 3 times, 4 times. I might be missing league MVP in that stat line too. I wasn't certain, that's why I didn't throw it in there. I might be missing it in that stat line. But yeah, that's in my opinion what makes him the greatest, right? So while he does this, he's in Chicago. In Chicago, he's playing with the Bulls. He's got an amazing coach in Phil Jackson, right? He devised a system called the triangle. It's like no one could figure it out for quite some time, right? He won a lot of championships, 6 in Chicago, and another 4 with the Lakers, 3 or 4 with the Lakers. How many? I believe 3 the Lakers won with Kobe and Shaq. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, 3. Lakers, Kobe and Shaq won 3. Yeah. So Phil Jackson won about 9 championships running that triangle system, okay? And along with Michael Jordan over there in Chicago, he had a guy named Scottie Pippen. I don't know if you really know about Scottie Pippen, but in his era, he was maybe the best two-way player in basketball, not named Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Okay, his defense was spectacular. Another guy on his team, Dennis Rodman, was hands down the best rebounder of his generation. Like, this guy's rebounding prowess was phenomenal. It was out of this world. Never seen before. We'll probably never see a guy average 18 rebounds at 6'7", 6'8" again. Okay, he's that cold, ice cold, right? He's got a guy named Craig Hodges with him that shoots like a Curry type jump shot. Another Steph Curry's coach, Steve Kerr, he played with him too, right? Okay, so I just wanted to tell you like how great that Chicago organization was and his teammates and his coach. Okay, so after a while, something very bad happens to Michael Jordan. He gets in a big scandal, and it's plastered all over the newspaper, and he's in trouble now. So he's being punished, and his punishment is he's sentenced to spend the rest of his career playing for the Washington Wizards. So he goes to the Washington Wizards. So when MJ gets to the Wizards, he tells the guys, he says, hey, look here, I'm MJ. I play for the Chicago Bulls. I don't care what these owners got going on. Y'all gonna play with me? We got to call ourselves the Chicago Bulls. we got to call ourselves the Chicago Bulls. So the rest of the Wizards have a meeting, and they all say, okay, we're in agreement. We're going to call ourselves the Chicago Bulls. All right, we kind of like that. We're cool with it, Mike. So Mike goes on to play out the rest of his career in Washington Wizards, being called the Chicago Bulls. Now, while he's playing in Washington, he doesn't win any championships. He doesn't lead the league in scoring. I'm not certain, but he might not have even won a playoff series in Washington. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay? So after a few years of diminishing skills and fading statistics, MJ decides to hang it up and he retires, right? Meanwhile, the guys in Washington still calling themselves the Chicago Bulls. So now it comes time for MJ to go in the Hall of Fame. So ESPN is running like a bunch of 30 for 30 documentary series and things like that, you know, celebrating the illustrious career of MJ. So they're running a special one night, and they're talking about how focused and how intense MJ is when he's in the finals and he's preparing for a Game 7 or Game 6 of an NBA Finals or Conference Finals championship game, right? And so they asked some of his teammates to come up and talk. So I'm watching the screen. I'm looking for Scottie Pippen or Horace Grant or, you know, like B.J. Armstrong, Steve Kerr, Cliff Levingston, Luke Longley. And I'm like, I don't see any of those guys. I see Kwame Brown. I see Jerry Stackhouse. I see Gilbert Arenas. And I'm like, hey, those aren't the Bulls. Those are the Wizards. And they're going on talking about how focused MJ is and how intense MJ is in the finals. And I'm getting kind of hot as a Bulls fan, you know? I'm getting kind of hot, you know? Because I'm like, those guys didn't play in the finals with MJ. You know, why are they still calling themselves the Bulls? You know, like I said, a big part of the reason why MJ won 6 championships is he had the best rebounder in the history of basketball on his team. He had the best two-way player in the league other than himself on his team. That's how he won 6 championships. He had the best sharpshooter in the league and Craig Hodges on his team. That's how he won championships. So I don't understand how these guys can, you know, act as if they know or have a clue or had something to do with MJ's actual greatness. The numbers that made him MJ. You guys played with MJ on the Wizards. You don't have any idea what the pressure is like in Utah when you've got the flu and Byron Russell is dripped all over you. Steve Kerr, man. Steve Kerr, man. How can we forget Steve Kerr? How can we have an MJ championship team picture and Steve Kerr's not in it? Scottie Pippen's not in it. Dennis Rodman's not in it. Bill Cartwright's not in it. Not Scott Williams. How's about Brian Williams? Maybe he changed his name to Bison Dele. No Bison Dele. How can you have a MJ championship picture with no Bison Dele? You got Brendan Haywood up there. I mean, Brendan Haywood's good. I'm not knocking Jerry Stackhouse. Gilbert Arenas dropped 60 on Kobe. Let's be clear. Gilbert Arenas was a dog. He dropped 60 on Kobe. But he didn't He didn't win any championships with MJ. Gilbert Arenas isn't a champion. He's not a champion. Period. You can say what you want to say. You get your emotions. You can get mad. You can say what you're going to do to me, which we both know is not going to happen. Because everybody talks real tough when I ain't in the room. Trust me. I've been dealing with that for a long time. Let me not be in the room. The talk is outrageous. When I pull up, a lot of niggas get in tune with their feminine side. They get in touch with their feminine side when I arrive, oftentimes. And it's not, I'm trying to be humble, but I'm trying to be real at the same time too. My energy don't switch. My energy don't switch. It's that Umar energy. You're gonna get that Umar energy all day long from me, bro. I feel law only. I feel like, I don't care if you unalived 100 people, I honestly feel like you're going to get unalived on your 101st try if it's with me. So, MJ goes in the Hall of Fame as a Chicago Bull in Chicago. Scottie Pippen goes into the Hall of Fame with him. He deserves it. Dennis Rodman goes into the Hall of Fame with him. He deserves it. I might be a Ron Harper. I don't mind being a Ron Harper. I get a ring. I get a ring. Multiples. You could call me Ron Harper. You could call me Cliff Levingston. I get multiple rings. You could call me Wilper-Doop. I'll be Wilper-Doop. I got more rings than Gilbert Arenas and Jerry Stackhouse. Because you guys are wizards. Take them Bulls jerseys off your Washington Wizards. We're the Bulls. We are the champions. Not you guys. You're the Wizards. And that's why you're mad. This is what this is all about, YouTube. When you guys figure this analogy out, YouTube, you're going to see where all the bullshit is coming from. Where all the shots is being fired at the real Chicago Bulls from the Washington fucking Wizards. When could the Wizards beat the Bulls, y'all? Let's keep it real. Could the Wizards mess with the Bulls, y'all? Nobody wanted to rock no Wizards jersey. That's why they mad. The whole country wanted to rock that red and black Bulls jersey. Bulls jersey. Bulls jersey was still even hard when they had Jalen Rose on. It was a Bulls jersey. The Chicago Bulls is prestigious in Chicago. The Chicago Bulls playing in Washington is a mere substitute. I hope you guys enjoyed my little analogy. I hope you can figure it out. And I'll be hollering back at you guys later. And oh yeah, before I tune out, 50 Chyna from Brim's is a hoe ass nigga, and he running from me. And he only putting that info out about BMO, Dime, and everybody else because he's hiding out down south. He's hiding out down south. If he were in New York, he probably wouldn't even have a YouTube channel. He can't walk about freely doing what he's doing because he's brewing mischief. He's bringing that prison nonsense, that institutionalized, always getting a disciplinary referral inmate mentality to YouTube. And he's trying to poison your kids with it and my kids with it. YouTube, we got to band together and we got to all unfollow. We got to all unsubscribe. We got to all go as far as blocking 50 Chyna Brim. Because he's poison. He's fentanyl in your community.